That was your news in 90 seconds. I just want to say a special good morning to my little cousin Mia this morning. She may be looking on, if not, she'll catch it a bit later, and of course her mom, Keisha. So we get right into our interviews. We have a busy morning, and that's always a good thing because it means you are going to hear some very interesting information and know what's going on around you. This morning, joining me on set are members of the Rotary Club Southwest. And not just members, but we have a former president and the current president with me. We have former president, Miss Anne-Marie Davis. Good morning and welcome. And of course, she's no stranger. I know some of you will say, oh, that's my teacher. You might be thinking some Spanish lines in your mind this morning, but I won't go there. And of course, the current president, newly minted, Miss Anesha Caruth. Welcome. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So viewers, you know you always hear about the Rotary Club. You hear about Rotaract, you know, these institutions. Do you know what they do? Do you know how you can become a member and exactly what's going on? So let's start with Ms. Davis, our former president. Tell us a little about Rotary Club and its core values.
Okay, good morning, viewers, locally and internationally. Rotary Club is a global organization that is committed to doing service to communities. Okay, Rotary clubs, we have several Rotary clubs all over the world, and they are committed to improving the lives of individuals as well as communities. So what Rotary clubs do, we kind of do an assessment. We see where there's a need for assistance, and we move in and we do as much as we can with the resources we can. We are an NGO, so we have to raise all our funds on our own.
Right.
Yeah, so that's basically.
And when you talk about Southwest, for those who may not be familiar, Southwest Tobago comprises of what area?
Okay, well, Rotary Club of Southwest Tobago comprises of persons who live in that area of Tobago. We also have Rotary Club of Tobago, which is longer established. That is the more established club.
Right.
So when persons join Rotary, either join Rotary of Southwest Tobago, they had to make a distinction between them. So you have Rotary Club of Southwest Tobago and you have Rotary Club of Tobago. But that one is more established. That one is the longer one.
Okay,
Yes.
and when we're talking about established and Southwest, how long has this club been in operation?
Okay, well, we celebrated our 20th anniversary last year on the 16th of June. Okay, so this year would be 21 years in existence.
And of course, just for the curiosity of our viewers, how long did you serve? Because I know before Miss Walcott, there's an outgoing president, but you held the presidency prior to that. How long did you serve?
I served in the year 2023 to 2024.
All right, excellent. And it's always good to see when institutions can have core members be around, you know, to help sustain and hand over and be there with that knowledge, not just leave the new ones, the young members coming in on their own, but you have that foundation. So thank you so much, Ms. Davis, for being a part of the Rotary and, of course, providing your support. And let's switch gears a bit to our new president, Ms. Anesha Caruth-Walcott, newly minted, if I may say so. Yes, right. So tell us, how do you become president of a esteemed organization as this?
Well, I'm glad you said esteemed. Well, yes. Well, I joined the Rotary Club of Southwest Tobago in the year 2019. I would have served in several capacities as service project chair, treasurer, secretary, foundation chair. So there were different capacities I would have served in at the Rotary Club of Southwest Tobago. So you get an idea of the different roles and functions within the organization before transitioning to presidency. It is not an easy role. It's a lot that you have to take on in terms of leadership, but you lead with compassion. You look at the sustainability of the club. You have the experience from those past positions to have an idea of what it takes to lead the club in the direction in which we want to go. So you become a president by serving on different roles, getting an understanding of the Rotary International Foundations, what are our call to action, before you actually take up that role as presidency.
Right. So is it like traditional institutions, organizations where other persons also vie for that office and you have to, you know, lead out maybe in little campaigns or present yourself?
Well,
or is it where you are nominated and you have to agree, okay, yes, I will offer myself, yes?
Correct. You are nominated and you agree to offer your services to the club.
Right. Excellent. And I mean, for you to be nominated, it means your peers would have seen something in you
Right.
and are behind you. So that's excellent. And let me congratulate you
Thank you
in
very
this
much.
new seat you will be sitting in as you lead. Let's talk about your presidency. I know that there's a theme, evolve to serve. What does that
Yes.
mean to you?
Okay, well, that's our team for Southwest Tobago.
Yes.
However, there's an overarching team from Rotary International, which is to unite for good.
Right.
Meaning that you're uniting, we're leading with compassion, we're looking at sustainability of the club. So it's just getting that unifying force globally and taking that for Southwest Tobago, you want to get that unifying force within Tobago. So you target persons from all spheres within life in Tobago, each different community. So we are Rotary Southwest Tobago, but of course we don't focus only on Southwest Tobago. You also want to look at the rural communities. So we want to target persons within the eastern side of Tobago and bring persons within that community, those who would need help, we're looking at sustainability of the environment, we're looking at education, literacy, and all those things. So evolve to serve. We have a president. We also the sponsor club of the Interact Club of Southwest Tobago. President Janae Jones, she was the past president and she is the incoming president. So when you're looking at evolve to serve, you have to look at the younger population as well, that younger generation.
Right.
So we have to factor them into how we lead the club, because with technology, there are so many changes that are going on, and we need to adapt how we lead the club, how we service the club, how we service our communities, and that is when we say we evolve to serve.
And of course, viewers, if you do stick around, you'll have the pleasure of meeting Ms. Jenny Roberts a bit later on, because we do have her scheduled to sit with me this morning. Ms. Davis, can someone just decide to become a Rotary member, or is it a system where you have to be referred and examined before you do become a member?
Okay, it's really by a referral system. Okay, so you would know persons in your community, maybe in your family space, friends, co-workers. So once you see that person exhibiting the qualities that we need in Rotary, you have to be dedicated, you have to be committed, you have to be willing to give of your time without looking for monetary compensation,
Right.
and you have to be empathetic and compassionate towards others. So once we see individuals with those types of qualities, we invite them to our meeting, and then we put them in. We have a WhatsApp group for them, so where we put all our prospective members and we work along with them. And then when we find that they have reached the point where they are ready to be inducted, then we have an induction ceremony.
I love that. So it's not just willy-nilly and you just come, because we know some people, let's be honest, some of us just look for opportunities to put things on our resumes or just sound bites. But I love that you have that transition period. You ensure that the incoming members understand what the organization is about, so they still have the option to opt out and say, this is not for me, or this is for me. And as we look to wrap up, let's go to our current president now. As you lead this esteemed organization into a new year, what can we expect from you? What programs, what's your vision?
Right. For our vision, as I would have mentioned earlier, to be a unifying force in Tobago.
Right.
And how we plan to do that, we have to find out what are the needs of our community. So first on the agenda is to do that community assessment to determine what it is. We don't just do projects willy-nilly, as you said before. We find out what are the needs, and then we institute projects that are based on those needs. Based on what would have done in the past, some of the areas of focus that we are looking at and where we would have seen gap is in terms of youth empowerment, skills development, where persons have limited access to structured mentorship. And so we want to do more career guidance and entrepreneurship support. In terms of mental health and wellness, you hear a lot about that. So we want to in those cases where we have rising mental health and concerns, especially among young men and women, we want to institute programs or work with organizations where we would be able to help those persons. In terms of community economic development, you have that gap with unemployment, underemployment. So many young persons out there can't find jobs.
Right.
yeah, I have my niece, I have so many young people calling, and they can't find job. They have their qualifications, but there aren't enough jobs out there for persons. I don't know what we can do, but we'll try to see how best we could work with the community, those organizations, to tap into those resources where we can help persons, to alleviate some of those problems.
Encourage them to become entrepreneurs.
Yes, so that is why I would have said youth empowerment.
Yes.
That's one of the things on our agenda, youth empowerment and skills development.
Definitely.
Well, for those who know me, know I'm a big advocate of technical vocational education and training. That's TVET. So me being in, that's my full-time job actually, in terms of technical and vocational coordinator. So I plan to use that as well within the Rotary Club to see how we can promote technical vocational education and skills development. So that is something that persons can look forward to, because that is very much high on my agenda. And in terms of literacy and numeracy, we have that problem with adult literacy, digital literacy. So it's working with those programs, those institutions that have those programs, to help alleviate that problem as well. And Ms. Davis could tell you a lot about adult literacy, because she's big on reading and education. So that is something that we want that persons can look forward to from the Rotary Club of Southwest Tobago.
Right. So definitely, viewers, we have a lot to look forward to. And let's continue to look out for organizations like this. Some of you hear these names and you are curious, but you don't move forward. Even if you may not become a member or want to be so committed, I'm sure there are events and programs that the Rotary Club Southwest and even Tobago will be hosting. And you can decide, to contribute, to volunteer, whether it's your time, resources. I'm sure that you will be received with open arms. So thank you, ladies, for spending some time with us and letting us know about what's going on and some of the new faces and the faces that have been around carrying Rotary Club Southwest, through the reins for the last 20 years. Thank you so much again. Viewers, we go for a quick break. When we return, we meet another guest who's going to tell us about a spelling bee competition happening right here in Tobago. So stay tuned.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning, rise up.